2026 is not a new beginning. It's the countdown to the end.
What the is that?
People have already caught apocalyptic events on camera, terrifying sky phenomena,
That's unreal. It's like it's carved out of light.
unexplainable weather events,
I've never seen it this green.
It looks unreal.
and moments no one was prepared for. These videos prove that our clock is ticking. There is very little information about this video. It was allegedly recorded while some friends were driving toward Thablotan, a remote village in Saudi Arabia. Suddenly, bright squiggly lines appeared in the sky. They moved erratically and glowed so intensely that it felt frightening to watch. Moments later, the lines seemed to burst into bright flashes right above them. The video cuts off abruptly, and there's no other update about the friends. But since the video has gained nearly 2 million views, viewers have a lot to say. They pointed to the prophecy from Luke 21:11, which speaks of fearful sights and great signs right before the end of the world. False sun. In a truly confusing and mind-wrecking event, strange lights appeared in the sky over Florence, Italy on the 2nd of January. It started with a purple glow forming above the city. It looked like a ring of light expanding rapidly across the sky. At the center of it, a glowing circle suddenly appeared. Within seconds, it turned a bright orange, almost like a false sun, and began moving above the clouds at an erratic speed. One local who'd been out at that time managed to record the scene. When he uploaded the footage online, many claimed it was too bizarre to be real, but he insists the video is real. Celestial eyes. On New Year's Eve, people across the world saw something impossible. There were 2 moons in the sky. Many witnesses reported the same phenomenon in Japan, Brazil, and Italy, and they were really confused about how it could even happen. But in China, the scene grew even stranger. The 2 moons were surrounded by halos that made them look like enormous eyes staring down at them. It felt like a celestial being was watching, but not a godly, benevolent one. It felt like a darker presence, sending chills down spines. Even after the sky returned to normal, people could not shake the feeling that something bad was about to happen. Sky projectors. This video shows a soul-shaking sight that Canadian cargo vessels recorded. High above the ocean, massive disc-shaped formations formed in the clouds. From them, glowing pillars of bluish-white light poured downward. They spun rapidly, like a storm made of light. But this was no weather event. The pillars twisted faster and faster, producing an intense blue glow. It looked like massive energy was being generated through friction. That is where a disturbing theory comes in. Viewers believe a secret New World Order is testing advanced sky projections, with giant holograms meant to simulate a fake alien arrival, or even a second coming to change the world according to their will. Angel of Abyss.
What the hell is that?
This sighting had caused an internet meltdown. One night, a man hiking through the Appalachian mountains saw a glowing being that emerged from the clouds. It had massive feathery wings and an oddly shaped head, all made of mysterious bright light. It went right over him and eventually vanished behind the clouds. The sight was so shocking that even after capturing it, he couldn't believe what he had seen. According to the Book of Revelation, the veil between different worlds will begin to thin, and powerful beings will cross over, such as the Angel of the Abyss.
What in the... I'm recording it.
Mysterious skyline. In Beijing, China, a long white line appeared across the sky. People were really shocked because it did not look like a normal contrail. It was too straight and precise, stretching from one horizon to the other, unlike contrails that always fade and scatter. They didn't even see or hear any aircraft fly by. But the most shocking part was that it cast a shadow, which seemed impossible, because nothing can cast a shadow on the sky. They always need something solid to fall on, like a screen. Citizens realized that maybe the sky really was a firmament, which was a solid barrier above the world, according to ancient civilizations. Unbelievable stormy sky.
Never seen the sky do that before.
Right behind it. Hear that? Yeah.
Residents in different parts of Florida filmed the sky turning into the strangest colors as a powerful storm rolled in. In some areas, the clouds glowed a bright purple. In other places, the sky turned into a seafoam green. It looked like something supernatural was taking place. Although Florida always faces extreme weather conditions, nothing like this has ever happened before. The colors stayed like that through the entire storm, but after the sky turned back to normal, weather experts tried to dismiss it. They said this could either be a reaction of chemical reactions in contrails, but residents felt like the Earth was going through strange changes, and this was a sign of that.
Look at that color. I've never seen it this green.
It looks unreal.
Demonic orbs.
You get this on your phone?
Yeah.
They were lower a minute ago.
The following sight immediately set off a police emergency response. In Mounds, Oklahoma, residents had to call authorities after strange light orbs appeared in the night sky. The multiple glowing orbs moved at incredible speed while staying in perfect formation. Officers tried to track them, but there was nothing they could do, even as the orbs went out of sight. When witnesses later uploaded the footage online, some viewers immediately connected the lights to the Tzitzamaimi, which are female star demons from Aztec mythology. They're believed to appear as stars and then descend to Earth to devour it. Do you think that's true?
Stay behind the truck, all right?
All right.
Apocalyptic cloud formation. This sight looks downright apocalyptic. A strange phenomenon appeared in the skies over Tennessee. According to social media reports, it occurred in Knoxville County. It started as a swirl in dark clouds. People thought a storm was coming, but as the clouds spun faster and faster, they transformed into a terrifying apocalyptic formation. The friction of the air was so intense that it began to ignite, forming a fiery vortex that emitted deep, loud noises. Witnesses said the air had turned really hot with a metallic smell, and their skin began to itch as well. They thought this was their last moment, but just as mysteriously as it appeared, the vortex vanished too. Mysterious light pillar. In China, a woman named Miss Zhao captured a truly mysterious sight while visiting relatives in Zixing City, Hunan Province. In the distance, she noticed a tall, rectangular pillar glowing brightly. After she uploaded the video, many netizens claimed it was just sunlight reflecting off glass or a tower. But Miss Zhao insisted there were no such structures there. Each time she tried to move closer to the area, the pillar would vanish, as if it was only an illusion. It would only reappear at that distance, which made no sense. She also swore that by the next day, it was completely gone. So what do you think it was? Night portal.
Dispatch, it's still above the roofline, no clear structure emitting light, we're holding position.
Above a warehouse right next to a police station in Katusa, Oklahoma, something strange appeared in the night sky. A mysterious ring formed with a pale, glowing rim, and at its center, strange blue patterns rippled slowly. Police and locals rushed outside to see it, but no one could explain what was happening. It looked like a portal had opened, and everyone braced for something to pass through it. The police stayed ready for any unexpected events, but nothing came through, and after 20 minutes, the ring vanished on its own.
Dispatch, it's still above the roofline, no clear structure emitting light, we're holding position.
Fiery ring. On the 3rd of January, 2026, a massive fiery ring appeared in the sky. It formed over the Alps in Switzerland, just after the crack of dawn. The ring kept spinning in one place, as if a portal was about to open at its center. And its size was massive. It stayed there for nearly 2 hours, then slowly faded into smoke. People from several alpine villages reported seeing the same thing at the same time. However, there's only one video of it remaining online. That's because the other recordings that the witnesses had uploaded were quickly taken down to avoid panic among the public. But this single clip somehow survived. Sky pyramids.
What is that?
Pyramids have always been a topic of mystery. Now this video makes everything even more confusing. Over the pyramids in Giza, Egypt, shocking geometric shapes began forming in the sky. They were shaped exactly like pyramids. They were upside down, with their pointed tops piercing through the clouds. The shapes were even moving really fast. Multiple people in the area recorded the same sight, which had stayed for 3 hours. After the video spread online, people began saying this could signal the arrival of new pyramids. Since no one truly knows how the original pyramids were built, this sighting made them think that maybe they were indeed extraterrestrial structures, and this was how they'd originally arrived.
What is that?
Mysterious pulsating orbs. In January this year, people in Abu Dhabi, UAE, thought the sun was rising, but that dawn came with a terrifying surprise. Instead of one sun, multiple glowing orbs had risen from the horizon. Some of them glowed orange like the sun, while others were bright white and kept pulsing in and out of sight in sudden flashes. The scene was confusing, shocking, and deeply disturbing. People couldn't even tell which one was the real sun. After nearly 2 hours, the extra orbs slowly blinked out one by one, until only the real sun remained. Even after that, people couldn't stop talking about it. But the government and news outlets are still quiet about this, which feels really suspicious. Collapse of the sun. According to this video description, a tourist visiting London was recording the view for a travel channel when something truly strange happened with the sun. The core of the sun began emitting prismatic lights in 3 directions. They pulsed and expanded, growing brighter and brighter before suddenly dimming. The sky turned dark as if night had fallen. The sun's core went dark and its outline glowed, expanding like it was about to explode. The video cuts off there, leaving viewers in suspense. However, most of them think the video is digitally rendered to spark panic. After all, if something this massive had actually happened, the world would be in chaos, and millions would have witnessed it too. Red Midnight. On the 5th of January, the sky over Shanghai, China turned completely red. It happened at exactly midnight. The clouds began glowing with an intense, constant crimson light, even though there was no lightning. The citizens were so scared that they locked themselves inside their homes and waited for the sky to turn back to normal. The sight felt absolutely apocalyptic. We humans always have the tendency to link red color with warnings and bad omens. That's why people were scared even after the color faded in a few hours. Sky tier. Right after the New Year's Day, people in Turin, Italy, woke up to a terrifying sight in the sky. A strange vertical mark appeared above the city. It looked like a rip in the sky. It made the sky seem like it was made out of a solid, engineered material. And the rip was revealing another dark world behind it. This sight remained for 5 whole minutes before one resident managed to record it as it stitched itself closed. Ever since the video has gone viral, viewers are now convinced that we live in an engineered world, and now the false sky is finally falling apart. Angel in clouds?
That's unreal. It's like it's carved out of light.
In California, people witnessed something truly strange in the sky. While relaxing in a park, the cloud slowly took a shape that looked exactly like an angel, with massive wings spread wide. The sight was so shocking that people gathered, pulled out their phones, and started recording it. But within minutes, the shape scattered and blended back into the clouds. Some people believed it was just a rare coincidence, a cloud formation that happened by chance. But some religious people felt like it was a wake-up call urging them for prayer or repentance. What do you think it was?
Head, robe, everything.
It's like it's watching us.
Mysterious sky chains. These shocking videos have spread online at a shocking speed and crossed 10 million views in just 1 week. They were allegedly recorded in the Kirgalan Islands, a remote place where few people go. The sky was covered with thick fog when a deep mechanical sound suddenly echoed. And moments later, this massive ring-like shape emerged from the clouds. As it lowered slowly, the shape became clearer. Turns out, it was a gigantic chain hanging in the sky. Judging by its scale, no man-made craft could hold something so enormous. So it must have come from beyond our atmosphere. According to some viewers, this chain proved that Earth was a mechanical structure anchored by hidden mechanisms. Others had more bizarre ideas. Viewers pointed to Norse mythology. They believed the chains of Fenrir that were binding it were coming undone. Second sun. What would you do if you suddenly saw a second sun in the sky? Well, during the golden hour just before sunset in Florida, another sun-like shape appeared right beside the real sun we see every day. Despite being smaller, it glowed just as brightly. Several smaller white orbs appeared near it as well, but they weren't twinkling like stars at all. Instead, they flashed in an intense and unsettling way. The strange lights only vanished once night had fallen, as many people recorded the sight from different areas. They all came to the same conclusion. This felt like a bad omen, because if multiple sun-like heavenly bodies ever began appearing regularly, the world would not be able to handle the heat. Sky trumpets.
Lighten up now.
At the start of January, people all over the world thought it was the end of the world. That is because they began hearing loud, terrifying noises. They sounded like trumpets, and the most disturbing part was that the sounds were coming from the sky. Turn your volume all the way up to hear this clearly.
Lighten up now.
What made this even stranger was that people in different countries heard them around the same time, including Italy, Spain, and the United States. Many felt it was the final warning, similar to the trumpets mentioned in the Bible in the book of Revelation. Even today, not even weather experts have been able to explain this event. So, have any of you heard this too?
Damn. Cool. Is it like
Moonlight cross. Over Australia, something really unexpected happened one night. For a brief moment, the dark clouds parted in a precise formation, and the way moonlight was shining through them looked like a glowing cross. The people who saw it thought the formation was far too precise to be just a coincidence. The shape stayed there for 10 minutes. Then slowly, the dark clouds scattered and the shape was gone. Onlookers believed it could be a warning from Jesus to repent, a final message that the end might be near. Cloud apparition. Now, this one is really hard to explain. A man was exploring the San Gabriel Mountains in California when, just after sunset, he began recording the clouds. That's when a glowing shape slowly formed. This wasn't moonlight. It looked like an ethereal being moving through the clouds. Only part of it was visible, but the section he managed to capture looked unmistakably like an arm. The man felt like he had recorded a moment when an otherworldly presence entered our skies. And if that was true, bad things would happen next. Celestial shockwaves. In Orlando, Florida, the sky turned into a mysteriously terrifying sight. It happened on January 3rd, when a glowing form appeared in the dark sky, sending rippling, luminous shockwaves outward. Over time, the form grew larger and larger, eventually taking the shape of a glowing ring. The bigger it grew, the fainter it became, until it vanished completely. The onlookers thought this might have been caused by the collapse of a nearby star, sending shockwaves across space. And if those shockwaves had reached Earth, the energy released could have been dangerous enough to end the world. Looks like we just got lucky here.
Well, if that's a rocket, it's gonna explode and we're gonna hear the...
Sky fracture.
The sky in Utah, USA truly split open. The camera captured an extraordinary scene. A bizarre shape emerged in the empty blue sky.
On the 4th January in Ohio, at exactly 2 p.m., suddenly bright fiery patterns appeared in the sky. They kept branching outward like cracks spreading across glass. People even heard a roar, which made them believe this was a spatial rupture. For years, there have been theories that the sky is not what we think it is, but a grid-like structure that the government designed to keep everything controlled, including the climate, and even us. But at that moment, it felt like the grid was failing and short-circuiting. Just as that engineered firmament was about to melt away and reveal the truth, the sky slowly returned to normal. Those in power must have stabilized it just in time.
Experts attempted explanations. Aurora, high-altitude air currents, meteor fragments, yet none could account for that sensation. The question is, where does it lead and who is opening it?
Mysterious skylights. In Arizona, United States, the night sky suddenly lit up in the strangest way. It wasn't lightning, and there was no thunderstorm either. This happened on January 6th of this year. At exactly 11 p.m., bright light began pulsing in flashes that were too bright to look at directly. But there was something stranger and more confusing. It looked like something massive was blocking parts of it, as if a huge object was hanging in the sky. The flashes continued for 3 full hours, and then suddenly stopped. But even after that, no one could understand what had caused this terrifying event. Floating smoke shape. When a man named John William in Sydney, Australia was spending time at a park enjoying the weather, something strange suddenly caught his attention. Above him, a dark, smoky shape appeared in the sky. It hovered in place, forming a bizarre mass that didn't behave like normal smoke at all. Instead of slowly breaking apart and fading away like smoke, the shape held its form the entire time. What confused him even more was that there were no factories or industrial sites anywhere nearby. So this couldn't have been factory smoke. The strange mass stayed suspended in the air for as long as he remained at the park. So what do you think this actually was? Moon split.
It's una brecha.
¿Qué es eso?
These witnesses thought the moon itself was splitting. You heard that right. A group of friends in Mexico were out on a boat, nearly 6 miles away from land, when they noticed a dark line that suddenly appeared across the surface of the moon. At first, it looked as if the moon was cracking or splitting from there. But then they realized that wasn't what was happening. The line began to move, slowly sliding toward one side of the moon before vanishing completely. The friends were completely confused and baffled by what they had just seen happen to the moon.
Pero mirar cómo se ve en el vídeo.
Simulation grid.
Fading.
Did you get it?
Yeah, I think so.
You really need to see this one, because it will mess with your ideas of reality. On the 5th of January, a man who was outdoors in North Tulsa, Oklahoma, noticed a strange white light moving erratically in the sky. So he started recording. That is when he captured the most unbelievable sight. A faint grid suddenly appeared in the clouds. It spread for a brief moment, and then vanished completely. The grid did not reappear after that, and when he showed the footage to others the next day, no one believed him. but the man was certain that he had caught proof that this world is nothing but a simulation, just like a rendered digital world.
Fading. Did you get it?
Yeah, I think so.
Unexplainable light clusters.
O som foi gravado por dezenas de pessoas.
These strange clusters of light created a mix of confusion and fear in Lyon, France. Out of nowhere, the glowing blue projections appeared in the night sky and began seeping through the dark clouds. These couldn't be coming from an aircraft because the lights were too still. They were even pulsing slowly and rhythmically, like an actual heartbeat in the sky. People gathered in the streets to record what they were seeing, and most of them thought this was a sign of Project Blue Beam. The lights stayed on for the entire night, but even after that, there has been no updates from experts or coverage from news outlets.
O som foi gravado por dezenas de pessoas.
Sky orbs.
Tem várias luzes! Elas estão seguindo a gente!
On the 4th of January, these mysterious glowing orbs appeared in the sky above a small village in Mexico. They moved at incredible speed, cutting across the sky without any sound. People panicked instantly and gathered in the streets. Some even began running in the direction of the orbs, trying to keep them in sight and see what would happen next. But the lights were far too fast to follow, so they lost track. After the video spread online, others shared eerily similar sightings from the same date and time, including reports from Vietnam and Nepal. However, despite the sheer number of witnesses, no one has been able to explain this event. Terrifying clouds. Something really strange is happening to our atmosphere. In Kansas, the clouds formed chaotic, wave-like patterns underneath, almost like a terrifying ripple across the sky. Light was shining through them in a strange way, because thick, stormy clouds are usually dark, but these ones looked oddly bright. Although nothing dangerous actually happened after that, people were still shaken by the sight. They couldn't tell if this was just a rare weather phenomenon or some kind of unexplained anomaly. Do any of you know about this? Sky cross. 5 days before New Year, at exactly 11:50 p.m., a bright cross appeared in the sky over Glenwood Springs, Colorado. This wasn't like those illusions made by clouds. It was a clear, glowing orange cross hanging high above the town. The cross stayed for 10 minutes before vanishing completely, and those who saw it felt it was a divine sign, a reminder from God for people to return to the right path. But what do you think it was a sign of? Terrifying lights. A few days ago in Turkey, people were terrified after hearing loud, thunder-like noises, because when they looked outside, there was no ordinary storm. This video that a witness managed to record with shaky hands shows bright, flashing lights. They were moving across the sky in unpredictable and terrifying patterns. The glowing shapes kept expanding and contracting at rapid speeds, creating a chaotic and bone-chilling scene. The strange lights continued for about 10 minutes before disappearing completely. They believe this was a sign that the Earth is no longer the same, and that something far more terrifying will follow after this. Sign of Second Coming.
Jesus, look at that!
This does not feel like an ordinary weather phenomenon. Take a look. On the very first day of January, the form of Jesus appeared in the clouds over the Sierra Nevada mountains in California. The huge shape was incredibly clear, complete with a glowing halo above his head. The form stayed there for about 15 minutes during sunset. People who saw it felt a mix of wonder, shock, and even fear. They believed it was a direct sign of the second coming of Jesus.
They're real clear in here, look!
Yeah.
Night omen.
Go.
A few days ago, stormy clouds suddenly rolled in late at night in Delaware. It felt wrong from the start. This did not feel like ordinary weather at all. Each time lightning flashed, It revealed strange, dark shapes hiding behind the clouds. Some people began recording it. Then, for a brief moment, a terrifying shape appeared. It looked like a demonic figure walking across the sky. Since the appearance was so brief, not many people were able to see it, but those who did felt like something dark was invading our world. Divine or coincidence? Just recently, residents all over Houston, Texas, looked up and saw a shocking formation in the sky. It perfectly resembled an angel watching over the city, with massive wings spread wide and a long body. Multiple people recorded it from different angles, but they were very confused about what this meant. So what do you think? Was this a divine sign, or just clouds taking a coincidental shape? Jesus apparition. Did Jesus appear in the sky? Take a look. On January 5th, right after Mass, the shape of Jesus suddenly appeared in the clouds above Naga City, Philippines. Everyone stepped outside the Basilica Minore of Our Lady of Peñafrancia, and after seeing it, they began singing songs, believing the figure had appeared to remind them of their sins. Aya Miranda, one of the attendees who recorded the moment, said the clouds had formed so suddenly that everyone was unsettled, and after seeing it, everyone began to repent for their sins. Mysterious orbs.
Bam! What is that?
The following video shows a cluster of glowing orbs hovering over the open ocean near Miami. It was recorded at 5:38 p.m. by men on a boat ride who were 12 miles away from shore. The orbs looked way different than stars because they weren't twinkling at all, and they weren't moving like drones either. They stayed suspended in a strange formation. The men couldn't help but think if these orbs came from outer space, sent to gather data about our planet. As bizarre as that sounds, if there's a slight chance of that being true, we are doomed, because an extraterrestrial invasion would follow right after that.
Nothing around. No land, no nothing.
Apocalyptic snowfall.
Saudi Arabia has witnessed this snowfall, which has never been seen before in several parts of the country.
2025 has already been full of storms and terrifying natural events worldwide, but looks like this year is going to be worse. In Saudi Arabia, snowfall has started in areas that have never seen snow before, but instead of celebrating, people are filled with fear. Muslims believe this sudden, extreme change in the climate could be a sign of doomsday. According to Islamic scriptures, there are warnings about unusual weather and natural disruptions before the major apocalyptic events, which is why they think that the end is near. Now it's time for the most terrifying event of today. In Guangzhou, China, just as the sunset turned the sky golden, the view quickly turned from beautiful to downright terrifying. The clouds took on a bone-chilling form with a powerful torso, arms outstretched, and bright, glowing eyes. This looked like a giant celestial being in the sky. Those who witnessed it felt like the being was staring directly at them with those terrifying eyes. What frightened them the most was not knowing whether it was a divine presence or an evil being that was about to bring doom upon them, just as the city was about to turn into a chaotic scene of panic and fear. The form scattered after 20 minutes and dissolved into the surrounding clouds.